I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Tuesday, March the 27th, and the bears have it totally under control. Your calf markets, your feeder markets, your board, your fat cattle trade, everything, just the bears completely have dominance over it. And this market has come under pressure because we feel like there's this huge wall of cattle that are coming down the pike of market ready supplies. It's going to hit in the latter stages of April, we assume. And those walls of cattle, we've heard them talked about before. They're never quite as big as what everybody fears, but we know we've got a lot of cattle on feed. Your cattle on feed report ensured that. And it's going to pressure the market some. But actually right now, as we're into this current situation, we've still got tight market ready supplies. Your packers have been aggressive in trying to get more cattle put together and keeping their chain speeds up. And really there's no reason why the market should be under such pressure now. It's just everybody is dreading what's coming ahead. But it looks like by the time we get there, we'll have this thing about bottomed out. But you look at the board on Monday, June live cattle futures down 90 cents, ending the day at 105.30. Your April spot market was down 87 cents at 115.17, and that's more than $10 below what the cash fat cattle market is. And we're going to be into April here by the end of the week. May feeder cattle contracts, which we're going to talk about the May. There's just so much more volume in it than any of the others. But May feeder cattle down $1.75, and that ended the day at 135.55. March spot feeder cattle down 77 at 134.92. And like I say, your index, real-time index, which is up to date, is below that. So we were running with index levels above that. CME is still lagging behind, and it's still trading up there close to 137, but it'll back off here if they ever get it current. Your fat cattle trade, the weighted average on last week's fat cattle trade on 120,100 head in the 5-area feeding region. That is a huge movement of negotiated sales, and we should, it should lend support to the market. But everybody's just on such a downer that it's not helping at all. But a lot of cattle sold last week. They're not going to be very aggressive this week, probably. And the market's going to be a lot lower, I'm telling you that right now, this fat cattle trade. And they're going to take it in hunks, and they're not going to feel bad about it like most of your cattle feeders do whenever we're trying to gain ground. But live steers on the weighted average, 125.90. That was down $2.01 compared to the weighted average from the previous week. Dressed steers, the weighted average, 201.79, and that is a lot worse than what we really felt like the market was at maybe 203. But that just goes to show you how many cattle sold off the market on that range from $2 to 204. But 201.79 on your steer dressed weighted average, that's down $3.68 compared to the previous week. We had a bearish cattle on feed report, as you know, come out, and it looks like that is going to push the market some more. Of course, it did the board on Monday, but really it wasn't as bad as some of those we've had for over the last 6 months or so. But that number being the worst in 11 and a half years, or the heaviest inventories on feed, that's the main thing that really hurt. But you look at your feeder markets on Monday, your real-time index, beef market central based on the 800-pound steer, and that was late in the afternoon, as I've got to catch a plane here later on Monday. But 134.56 is your real-time index, down 81 cents from the end of last week. And that's right where cattle are trading. That's very, very current. You can watch it come together. CME feeder cattle index is still lagging up there at 136.68, which is more than you can get for cattle, and a lot more than where your spot feeder cattle contracts are trading. But you look at your big markets on Monday. Oklahoma City, the Oklahoma National Stockyards, only 4,600 head in the city. And those lighter receipts are completely just due to the market being so much lower. Nobody wants to sell them that way. I was in and through Oklahoma City over the weekend, and there's absolutely beautiful weather. Absolutely no reason to have those cattle up and coming in there, and just a very light run. You don't see the city having less than 5,000 head unless it's a holiday or something's going on, bad weather. And it's just, people are scared of the market, and they would just as soon hold on to those cattle as they would puke them away, which that's unlike your feedlot guys. But the guys that are holding your calves and yearlings don't have to eat them like the feedlot guys do if they can't get them sold. But in Oklahoma City, the feeder steers, the early sales there were $3 to $6 lower. We're calling feeder heifers fully $3 lower in a light test of the heifers going right on to feed. Calves are steady to $3 lower, but really a light test for Oklahoma City on such light receipts. Joplin Regional Stockyards, 5,500 head. Early sales there steady to weak. You look at some individual quotes at Joplin there. They had a good set of calves there. 95 head of 540-pound steers come through the ring there at 172. That's a far cry from the $2 they were getting close to a month ago. And then another one of our favorite Monday markets, Sylvan Grove, Kansas. Sylvan Grove Commission, 61 head of 747-pound steers bring 152. That's your feeder flash for Tuesday.